Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Simone and SRNA, and if you're new here, thank you so much for clicking on this video, and if you are an old-time watcher of mine, thank you so much for returning. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the differences between CRNA school and nursing school, so if you're interested, then please keep on watching. So if this is your first time here, make sure you are subscribed. Make sure you click the bell notification below. That way you're notified every time I upload. And let's go ahead and get started. So there are a few differences between CRNA school and nursing school. So I'm going to go ahead and jump right into the video. If you do not know, if you're new to my channel, my name is Esther, also known as the Melanin SRNA, and I am in my first year of CRNA school. I have about 5, almost 6 years of ICU experience, and I am currently in CRNA school. So I'm going to go ahead and compare some of the differences of CRNA school versus nursing school if you have never attended either or you're just curious to find out what are the differences and why it's so quote-unquote hard if you have heard. So one of the big differences is school. So nursing school is more of an undergraduate degree, have an associate's degree or a bachelor's degree. However, with CRNA school, it is majority of them are doctorate programs, so you have to bridge and get a BSN to a DNP degree. There are a few schools that are still master's programs. However, I believe majority of them have to convert to a doctorate degree program by 2022. I believe it's 2022. So that is obviously one of the huge differences of nursing school compared to CRNA school is the degree that you will get once you graduate. Another difference in school is the amount of time that you do spend in school. So I do remember when I was in nursing school, I think I attended classes maybe like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, either 3 or 4 days out of the week, and I would spend anywhere from I think about 4 hours, maybe even longer. I'm not 100% sure because it has been a while since I've been in nursing school. If there are any nursing students that it's different for them, then please comment down below. However, I do remember that, you know, we did spend a lot more time in class certain days, so that would be one difference. And then two would be, to piggyback on that difference, is they are teaching you a lot of information, pretty much kind of spoon feeding you a lot of the information that you'll need in your practice. Whereas in CRNA school, I may be in school maybe 2 days out of the week for just like my CRNA classes, and I spend anywhere from about 3 hours in my classes at all. However, they kind of give you the general information, kind of like what you need to know. However, it is a must. When I tell you it is a must that you have to study outside of that, you do. I have to read the textbook. I have to do extra research just to fully understand the concept. And that would bring me to my third thing that is a difference versus CRNA school and nursing school is studying. I don't even think I ever picked up a textbook when I was in nursing school. I think I barely even opened a textbook. I would buy the textbook, but it would go to waste because I literally would never open it. Everything that I needed to know was in our PowerPoints, in our lecture. You kind of already picked, like they kind of gave you the information anyway through that. However, when it came to CRNA school, you really can't just go, I'm speaking for myself. Now, there may be other people that probably don't have to do a lot more research. I have not yet met these people, but for me, I feel like I absolutely need to study more. I have to open a textbook. I have to read. I have to either Google, I have to YouTube, because it's a lot of broader concepts that I have to be able to understand the full picture to know why we do the things that we do in anesthesia. And I feel like that's a huge difference when it comes to that, is I have to study. Like, there is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I have to study. And that has only made me that much more of a better student, is studying. You know, if they were to spoon feed us all the information, we would be in class for like 8 to 9 hours, and they simply cannot do that. When you are in graduate school, you are an adult learner, so they're expecting you to have to study, to make yourself do extra things outside of class in order for you to understand. And that is just the reality of graduate school, is that you're just going to have to study. You're going to have to put in that time to be able to get exactly what you want out of it. And I have a ton of study videos, a ton of tip videos. I will be making an updated one at the end of this semester as like my reflection. But there are a lot of things that I have changed in this semester. There are a lot of things, trial and error. You just have to find what works best for you. And when it comes to graduate school and studying, it is imperative that you study. Like I said, in nursing school, I don't think I studied. I don't think I opened a book or had to look up extra things outside of that. And I think another thing that helped me as well was because I was already working as a nurse tech while I was in nursing school. So a lot of things that we were learning, I was actually learning on the job, like learning as I was a tech as well. So a lot of things kind of just mesh well together. In this situation, there is no such thing as a CRNA tech. So like everything I may not understand, I kind of just have to keep looking up more research for me to be able to understand the full picture of whatever we're talking about. So my fourth thing that brings me to the differences between the two is testing. I feel like the testing is a little bit different. Different but also similar in different ways. And I think I'm now like coming to the end of this semester, I'm now starting to pick up on the testing style, and I think I'm kind of getting the hang of it as well. Whereas we all know nursing school questions, make sure you choose the best answer, all of that. It could be all 4 answers are correct, but you need to choose the best one. I wouldn't say CRNA school is like that. I feel like there are answers. There may be a few questions where it may be this answer, it may be that answer. However, for majority of the most part, it's not. I think it's really, now that I'm kind of picking up on the testing style, I think it's very cut and dry. However, the testing format is different. So I remember in nursing school we had multiple choice. There weren't like any fill in the blanks. I think when we only had like select all to apply questions, they were only on ATI, which is like a testing software that helps you like kind of determine like how well you'll do on the NCLEX. So that would be our like final test, like in order to like pass the class would be like taking an ATI test, which is like a computer format. Whereas CRNA school is a little bit different. We do have something similar to ATI, but we won't like really dive into that until our second year. But as far as the testing style, we have an encompass of all of them that would be on our boards. So we have hotspot questions, and what a hotspot question is they have a picture, they'll ask you a question regarding it. So for example, so let's say that they want you to do a manual. Let's do that, something easy. They want you to do a manual blood pressure, and they want you to point to where you would place your stethoscope, where you'll click on the mouse and you'll point it to where your brachial artery is. So that would be an example of a hotspot question. So you have a hotspot question. Of course, you have your typical multiple choice questions. So that's another one. You have your fill in the blank question. Well, you actually type in exactly what they want. You can also have an essay format, which really isn't like a true essay. It's just 1 or 2 sentences answering the question. The other format is select all to apply. So you basically have 4 answer choices and you need to select how many it is. They don't tell you how many to select, but they tell you select all that applies. And I think the final, I'm not really sure what the final one is, I can't think right now, but that is the majority of like our testing formatting. So based on your professor, which one of my professors prefers to do select all to apply questions, I absolutely hate them, but I think I'm starting to like get the hang of them. But when they had asked him, you know, when he was asked like, why do you do select all to apply questions, his reasoning is how do I know that you actually studied the material? And I completely do understand that, because you can pretty much by process of elimination kind of figure out, you know, multiple choice questions. It may not be this one, you can roll 2 out, and then if you just are a good guesser, you're a good guesser. Well, I mean, that doesn't really cut it for CRNA school, because you have to know the material. You absolutely need to know the material in and out. and guessing isn't really, it's not gonna cut it. You know, you have, you know, someone's life in your hands and you're the only person there. Like, you have to be able to have it all together. I can't like walk over to the next OR suite and ask you like, hey, what do you think about this? It's just you have to rely on yourself, so you have to know the material. So I understand like what he means by, you know, this is how I can better determine whether or not you actually study, you actually know the material. So select all the applied questions. They were quite challenging at first because if you don't get, it's either all or nothing. So if you clicked them all and you got them, great. If you clicked one out of the two, you don't get credit for it. You simply get that question wrong. So that was a bit of adjustment for me, trying to figure out like, wait a second, like how do I do this? How do I do that? That is like a huge difference. And the last difference I would have to say is your free time. CRNA school, you absolutely don't have any free time. You don't have time to do anything at all because you definitely have your head in the books all the time. Nursing school, you know, you do have a lot more free time. If you study, you can go do this, you can do that. I had more time, of course, like I mentioned just a second ago. I had a full-time job while I was in nursing school, so I was able to juggle between like having good grades in nursing school and studying and working full-time. However, in CRNA school, you absolutely cannot work, and I do understand why. You know, this is a very rigorous program, and it's a lot of information to be able to digest all in one sitting. So you need that time to be able to process everything and figure everything out. And I couldn't imagine trying to juggle a job on top of CRNA school. Like, I would be struggling. On top of just me, myself personally, you know, like being a mom, being a new mom, being in school and working, like I just don't think that would be like, I would be able to, it'd just be too much, honestly. So free time is a huge thing, and I will be making a video soon about, you know, like what to expect, you know, what you should do once you get into CRNA school, like prior to starting. And I will talk about this more in depth, but you absolutely do not have any free time, and you will be studying all the time. It's only going to get worse as you progress along because you'll have clinicals, you'll have your DMB project to work on, you'll have papers to write, you'll have DNP clinical hours in addition to your clinical hours for anesthesia school. So your time is very limited, so you have to take every opportunity to have self-care. I mean, that's number one, I think, for sure, is you need, even though like you need to study, you need to do a ton of stuff, I think the most important thing is making sure that like you take care of your mind and yourself, and then also having time to study. Like, you need to be able to have time to study and spend time with your family, what little time that you do have. So those are the main differences I would definitely have to say are different between CRNA school and nursing school. You know, it's both very doable. You know, I think everyone, you know, has their pros and cons about nursing school, and everyone has their pros and cons about CRNA school, but you learn a ton of information. Actually, you know what, one last thing is the amount of information that you learn, or the information that you do learn in CRNA school versus nursing school. Because I think me and a classmate, we were talking about this, and you know, with nursing school, it's kind of like, cool, I get to learn about, you learn about different things. You know, I think you kind of brush over a lot of things that will help you in your practice, but majority of your experience comes from clinicals, like the things that you pick up with meds and like knowing how to titrate certain med, like you pick that up all in clinicals. Like working, your work experience, you pick all of that up. You know, you may not want to learn about psych or community or stuff, community health, like public health. That might not be of interest to you, and I know there were certain topics for me personally that I didn't really care about learning in nursing school. But I do have to say, CRNA school is definitely interesting, is one of the most like interesting things, because you want to learn this stuff. Like, as tough as it is, because it is tough and it isn't easy, and it's not easy concepts, it's like it's such an extension of like what you already know, and it's like, wow, I never really knew like this side of like nursing before. And it's just like, it's really like cool and like cool and interesting information that like you really want to learn and you want to soak up and you really want to get the understanding. So I do have to say that like learning the information, and like once you do learn it and like you see the progression, even now, like from the beginning of the semester, like I didn't feel like I knew anything, and like now towards the end I can see how like, you know, the pathophysiology of like our whole entire body is like tying into anesthesia, and how it's like meshing together, and how it's like you're starting to like come together and see like your pre-op plan and like your anesthetic plan. It's starting to like make more sense, and it's like, wow, I'm actually learning something, you know what I mean? Like of course you're gonna learn something, but it's like, wow, like it's actually just making a lot more sense as you go along, and it's actually really cool to see like your progress of how much you didn't know in the beginning and how much you know now towards the end. So it's definitely a rewarding experience to like see how much knowledge that you're actually gaining, and I can only imagine like, you know, towards the end of like this first year, how much knowledge I would have really gained, you know, afterward. So this is one of the greatest experiences that you will experience. It's not going to be an easy journey, but it's definitely worth it. But I wanted to just share, you know, the differences between CRNA school and nursing school, and kind of give you a glimpse of, you know, what to expect, because I know there are a lot of nursing students that do follow me that are interested in becoming CRNAs. So that is something to look forward to, more schooling, but also a host of great information that would just help you become a better CRNA and just better in general. So thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any questions or anything, please comment down below. And also, if you were curious, I did already pick my mentee. So thank you so much for everyone that has participated in the mentorship program. I am hoping that I can reopen it back really soon, so just check out for a video and I will make a video all about it. But yeah, thank you so much, and I will talk to you in another video. Bye y'all.